please sign into YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. Now enjoy CineTalk with the one and only CineBros.
What's up, Cinemaniacs? We're back. We are back with episode number 29. That's right, number 29. CineTalk is where movie lovers get together and talk movies. And that is, today, the movie lovers on the panel are myself, who is Shane Moore over there. And you can also find Brandon Blaine on the panel as well. And he is DJ Darth Fader. You can find him everywhere on the Twitter universe and the Instagram universe and Facebook. Everywhere universe at DJ Darth Fader. And today we are going to do our normal show.
Hey, wait,
as usual.
Hold on. There's something different.
What's different? we were going to start adding some stuff to the program. We did
got some production quality going on in the basement. I love it.
My brother. This is a Christmas present from my brother.
Thanks, Casey.
Yes, he heard my complaining. I did not think that him and my sister Alex also contributed to this.
Thanks,
and
Alex.
We are very. I was very, very happy. I was like in shock for about 20 minutes when they gave it to me, and I opened. I was like, holy crap! They got me a TV for the basement. Like, that's crazy.
Love it. Yeah. So we don't have to fake it anymore.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Like when we did like the Independence Day thing where we were talking about the. Can I hear the Bull Pullman speech? And we're like. Looking at a blank piece of cloth back there.
So we have something legit now. I'm not sure if I'll be able to play like trailers and stuff like that. I'll still probably cut away to do that kind of stuff, but I will be able to do some stuff. We're gonna try and show the trailer that we have that's coming out. We were supposed to debut it today. Unfortunately, a lot of technical difficulties happened yesterday when we were working on it.
Yeah, okay.
And we wanted the trailer reaction from Brandon here, and we were going to debut it in the trailer section of our show. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but we will be debuting it next week. Okay. We got pretty much everything done, but my brother still has to cut everything together, and he has a couple of sound effects, all that stuff.
Let's go, Casey.
He's been working very hard on this, and it's a
labor of love. I get it.
It looks good. It looks good, and I'm really stoked to see the final product. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. What we'll do with you is we're going to try and have Brandon again back next week to see, because I know Chad hasn't seen the full finished product.
Yeah, but easily seen something.
He's seen a little bit.
I have
you have nothing. Yeah, nothing. You have no idea what it's going to look like.
Well, I just have you rambling about it. But.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of got that Man of Steel vibe to it. It's going to have that first Man of Steel trailer, the teaser trailer with Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner kind of doing the voices over it. So we have those, and we have everything pretty much done. The vocal recording is kind of the toughest part right now, trying to not emulate, but sound as similar to Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner in the trailer. That's been the tough part. So hopefully it all come together. We'll have it done, and we'll be watching it next week. And if Brandon can't come back, because we have families and families have needs. If he can't come back, what we'll do is we might do something like YouTube, like a private list it, and then I'll tag you in on it. You can watch it at home, maybe video yourself there watching it, and then we'll put it up on the screen here, and you can kind of watch his trailer reaction during our trailing section of that program. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to go on to our first segment, which we always do, and that is the box office. And we'll talk about the top 5 at the box office this weekend. And surprise, surprise, Star Wars: The Force Awakens finishes in the top slot again.
Really?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Shocker.
I have a feeling it's going to be doing that for several weeks. So Star Wars finished in the top slot at 153.5 million. Daddy's Home finished in the second slot at 38.8. Joy 17.5 in the third slot. Sisters in the fourth slot at 13.8 with only a 0.3% drop. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Road Chip. That sounds so ridiculous. Number 5 at 12.7 with only 11% drop off. These are the estimates still, so they will probably change a little bit. Hopefully, Star Wars will show another huge increase and it'll be back at 180 where I thought it was going to be. I was a little surprised that it didn't do as well as I thought. I thought it was gonna have more like a 25% drop off than a 38%.
I mean, the people, that's still great, but like the people, I mean, it's Christmas. I mean, people do go to the movies, but like people got a whole bunch of other stuff going on, getting ready for stuff. So you can kind of see where a drop off would be. A little bit bigger than normal,
it's one of those. It's one of those things it's kind of like everybody's home.
Yeah.
But is everyone going to go to the movies? Right. I think the rain helps because we did have kind of rain here and there over the weekend. So I think that did help a little bit because when it rains, especially in the summer, people want to go to the movies. Yeah. Like they don't want to sit around and, sit at home and do
you're
nothing.
Not going to go out and like do snow related stuff around Christmas because up here
we've had like 60-degree weather. Yeah, it's been ridiculous. Which is why we've gotten all the rain. Yeah. So I mean, there's that. I mean, I think this week you'll have another big week, and then because schools are out on a lot of places, you have another big week, and then you'll have a decent weekend again.
And maybe like you and I, because you and I did this. Like you and I went and saw the movie first, and then we went and took our kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like maybe now this next week, parents are going to have seen it, give it a whirl, without their kids, is it something we can take our kids to and then, go do it. So
yeah, I mean, that's what I hope happens. Yeah. I'm actually trying to break everything up. I'm trying to have, I went with all you guys, all the Cine family that we have together. We went as a big group the first Thursday night, the first showing.
Yeah.
And then I went back Saturday and I took my son, I took my best buddy, my brother again went with me, my father-in-law, and my son's one of his best friends, and then his parents went. Yeah. So we all went in that group on that Saturday. Now I'm trying to space it out with going only with one person at a time. I want to take my wife, so I want to go with just her, and then I'm going to take my neighbor across the street who's been wanting to go. Yeah. So then I'll just go with him, and then we'll kind of space it out, and I'll just keep finding people that I can keep going to see it with.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you random stranger at Dunkin' Donuts. You haven't seen a Star Wars movie? Let's go.
I just got a really nice gift card for Regal Cinema, which actually makes me remind me to give you your gift before we leave today.
Ooh, I have a Christmas gift?
Yeah, I got you a little. I got you a little Christmas gift for being a part of this whole thing. So I appreciate it. So you got a little Christmas gift action. You, Brian, also got some Christmas gift action. Chad got a little Christmas gift action.
Cute.
So I
awesome.
got you guys a little something for the holidays. It's nothing huge, but it's something that is very movie related. So
sweet. I think I'm planning to go to see it again because I saw it that Thursday with you. I went and took my daughter, who's 2.5. She almost made it. Almost made it through the whole movie without interruption on that Tuesday. And then my birthday is actually 2 days from now on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna take my wife. I'm gonna kind of corral her into going. She's like, wait, you want to go see it again? I'm like,
of
Of
course.
course I want to go see it again. You've seen the movies, don't you want to go see it? She's like, well, yeah, I'll go see it. I'm like, okay.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go. I usually have a birthday tradition of going to the casino and playing poker, but I'm like, I'll move that around. We can go to Regal and go catch a Star Wars movie and then go to the casino. No problem.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, as far as the other box office stuff goes, I mean, Daddy's Home did a lot better than I thought it was gonna because of just the juggernaut that is Star Wars. Right. I'm surprised that it did almost 40 mil. But good for it. I'm glad. It's not doing well critically. Right. It's got like a 20 or 30% rating. Yeah. But the fans seem to like it.
I don't expect much from Mark Wahlberg, really, and that kind of stuff. But I mean, Will Ferrell.
See, I love the other guys.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I love that movie too, and I thought it was really good. So like their chemistry works really well together. So I'm surprised, and I think it's doing well because it's such a departure from the other things that are in the box, that are in the movies right now. Yeah, so I think that's giving it's like a direct comedy that that guys and women want to go to. I think unfortunately Sisters is kind of falling into like the chick flick, but it's comedy kind of movie.
I mean, it's good for the sisters. I mean, it seems like it's going to make a little bit of money, which is good for Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, because they're just a great duo. I mean, Tina Fey I like Tina Fey more than I like Amy Poehler. Yeah. But together, they're just a great duo. And I'm glad that their movie's doing okay, even though it's like on the fence. I think it's right at around a 60%. So which is fresh. So it could either go just barely into the negatives or barely stay fresh on the Rotten Tomato meter. I mean, a lot of people don't really like, they don't give critics the credit that it's due because they just, I don't know, for some reason they just don't feel like they see eye to eye. But I think that if you look at most critics' ratings to most people's ratings, they're going to align up a lot better than most people would think. So, and then you can always just find critics that you actually pair with. Like one of my buddies who actually used to work for me several years back, every single movie that comes out that he wants to see, he actually talks to me and he's like, did you like this movie? Did you see it? And then, because he always checks out all my reviews on there. Right. But sometimes if I don't get if I don't watch it early enough, I won't make a review of a movie. So he'll always contact me first. What did you think? And then I, give him a little kind of breakdown of my thoughts without spoiling anything, because I hate those reviews that go in and say, this happened, this happened, this happened, this and this, and this is what I thought. Yeah. Like, I don't want that from, I want just how you felt about the movie. Convey that to me through speech or through text, however you're going to do it. Yeah. And I'll get the vibe if I'm going to like it or not. You can give you kind of your pros and cons and just call it a day. You don't need to tell me about the story of the movie. I kind of have that with the synopsis. Yeah. So as far as that goes, so I think that it's cool if you find a critic that you like. I don't consider myself a critic. But I do love movies and I like to review them just because I think it's fun. And if I can help somebody get out to the movie and like I have people contact me all the time about, parental guidance. Like, should I go to this movie? Should I take my daughter or son? All this kind of stuff. That's cool. And it's and that's something like I kind of give them the idea. I kind of like, there are swears in it. Depends on, how you feel about that, how much of a discussion you want to have with your child at the end, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of let them know and kind of leave it up to them ultimately. But I do suggest that most parents pre-screen movies before letting their children watch them, just because there are surprises in just about everything. Even when you pre-screen it, you can miss some stuff. I did that with my son with Pixels. And unfortunately, the couple of swears and choice words I was able to cover his ears and distract him from, but there were some others that didn't really work out that well. But yeah, I mean, the box office was pretty standard. I mean, there's no real big surprises here, except for I think Daddy's Home, which did probably better than I thought it was going to do. But I'm glad Chad really liked it. He has said that it's like his favorite comedy of the year so far. Oh, really? He really liked it a lot. He said there was some hard laugh. He hasn't seen The Night Before, but he was saying that I haven't seen that yet. Right. But as of so right far, now, Daddy's Home is his favorite comedy. So yeah, we'll just I guess we'll move on to the next segment. And the next segment, the true segment is new news. The new news is where we just kind of talk about the new news. Sometimes we'll go into some rumors. Sometimes we'll just kind of, chat about whatever is going on in the news, and maybe even we'll break off a little bit and go into some other discussions. We could even talk about something like that video was posted on about George Lucas crossing paths with the producer from Jurassic World. That was pretty funny. I might even I wish maybe I should play. I don't know. I'll put a link in the description below for you guys to watch, because it is very entertaining. It's funny. It's a Thug Life Thug Life video that George Lucas
stars.
Yeah, and he the words that he chose were very good. It was pretty funny. So what we're going to talk about first today is Resident Evil. And Resident Evil, the final chapter, has some serious injuries, with a stunt woman recently losing her arm. She was on a motorcycle and a camera didn't move out of the way quick enough. She hit her arm on it. She was like put into
the hospital for a while.
Yeah, she had to put in like a 2 weeks for like a medically induced coma. Yeah, it's awful. And then finally they just realized that they're going to have to amputate her arm, which is going to be bad for her profession. Yeah, I would imagine.
Well, and she was been other characters too. I think she was Daisy Ridley's stunt.
She is a stunt woman. Like, I mean, she does a lot of stunts. Yeah. So this is unfortunately for her a very kind of detrimental to her career. Yeah. But hopefully,
for a shitty movie.
I know. Seriously, for Resident, I mean, I haven't watched Resident Evil since like the first, second. Yeah, I don't even know if I finished the second one. Yeah. It's not one. It's kind of one of those that's like, oh, it's on TNT. I'll watch part of it and then go to sleep. So recently, there's more sad news that's happened on the set, and apparently, a man named Ricardo Cornelius was a crew member and was located on a rotating platform with a Humvee, and the Humvee was not properly secured, and it slid off the platform, crushing Ricardo up against the wall. He was rushed to the hospital, placed on life support, but passed away a few hours later. Now, this is very sad news, but I think the more disturbing and sad news is that this happened on December 3rd, and this is the first we're hearing about it. Yeah. Which is kind of like the studios and the people that are involved just being like, Oh well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not like even if like a factory worker or something like that dies on the line, it's going to get headline news locally.
Yeah.
Might not be worldwide,
Right.
but something like this that, I mean, this is probably going to be somewhere between the $30 and $50 million budget of a movie.
Right.
I can't imagine that they'd be spending much. Maybe it might be even less than that. But I'm surprised that you get that information about the woman doing the stunt, and that came out right away.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
this,
exactly.
a
It's
person
taken a long
died.
time. Yeah.
I mean, and that's like a crazy freak accident. Like, I mean, it's not that freak because obviously somebody didn't do their job.
Right.
And they got crushed. I don't know what the hell is going on with that.
And it sucks that it's happened like twice. Like in the same
In the
picture,
same
you have
picture.
like serious injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that is the director's fault. I mean, everything ultimately comes back to the director, but I don't know. That is such a terrifying thing that I just don't know what to even really say about it other than, you know, get your shit together.
Seriously.
Like that's some really crazy shit that I don't know. I mean, especially for a movie like this, I mean, you need to cross all your T's and dot all your I's when it comes to this stuff. And that means like securing everything down as best as possible. And I don't know, that's just some crazy stuff. And I really hope that, you know, this is something that kind of gets spread throughout all of the, you know, all the studios, everybody out there, all the movies that are getting done, that they are now double and triple checking everything, because that's just too bad. But we will move on. We're going to move on to the next topic here. And the next topic is some rumor stuff. We got some serious rumors, and the latest one, I was urged by Brandon earlier to say, put some spoilers. I'm going to say spoiler warning.
If you have not seen The Force Awakens,
if you haven't seen The Force Awakens,
it could potentially be
when this picture right here is gone, you can feel free to tune back. Because as of right now, we're just going to be talking about this. We're not going to try and get into too many spoilers for
about
ourselves.
The movie,
but this is a potential spoiler. You've been warned. All right, so the rumor is of course, it's about Star Wars.
Right.
Well, a video of Disney Infinity 3.0, Star Wars: The Force Awakens playset for PlayStation 4 has been getting a lot of play on the internet, and it appears to reveal a big secret about the link between Rey and Ren, Kylo Ren, that is. Well, there's a video circulating on the web, and it shows an adorable little avatar versions of the characters run around and battle with lightsabers. It appears that Kylo Ren says, "Face me, cousin." This, however, is not the case. I just want to let you guys know this. This is not the case. The various reports circulated based on the "face me, cousin" supposition that since has been debunked. He actually says, "Face me," followed by a quick retort because he gets hit with a blast and says, "Curses." And then even on Christmas Eve, Pablo Hidalgo, who was part of Lucasfilm Story Group, says, "Oh, come on," he says, "face me," and then says "curses" because he's been hit. Do you have any thoughts on this at all? What do you think about this?
I like it because if you watch like our Star Wars spoiler, like
you can catch that, and if you go to
our videos under the channel,
you'll be able to find it.
If you see that, you've already know where my mindset is going with this. Is that she is related to Luke?
Yep.
So that does make them cousins.
Yep.
So that to me is just a little seasoning on top of the steak that I'm already chewing on.
Yeah.
So like it is what it is. For them to not catch it, it seems a little bit cover-up-ish, like they're trying to cover their bases. But if it happens that way, that fine. I don't think you would say curses.
I think in this tone of a game, see, this is my thing with this movie. I mean, this little story that's been circulating. Disney is too tight-knit of a group to not let something like this slip out. I feel like they are the ultimate when it comes to crossing T's and dotting I's. And yes, there has been always those kind of little things like, you know, they had like in the Ariel poster back in the day in Little Mermaid, where there was always these little things that were drawn.
There's a dick on the cover.
That were suggestive. And, you know, all this kind of stuff things that that kind of slip in, I think. But I think that they are on another level now where they kind of don't let that stuff happen. And I do believe that because one of the guys actually I can't remember what the guy's name is. He's a YouTube, I think he's like one of those guys that's like YouTube famous.
Okay.
And he actually, or he might podcast or something like that, but he slowed down the audio really slow and listened to it very clearly. And he says, he's the one that broke that said, it says curses. Like it doesn't say cousin. It's an obvious curses. Like it's just unfortunate the way that it happened. He's like, you can see. He says, face me, and gets hit with a blaster right after that and says curses. So it does fit and everything with the way that they're talking about it. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like it's just, there's no way that
somebody else is like trying to read too much into it.
I think that I mean, you can hear what you want to hear sometimes. And something like that you could hear, face me cousin. And to me, it did sound more like cousin than it did curses. Right. Just listening to it, because I watched the video and it did sound more like that. But
it's the same amount of syllables. It's kind of the same cadence with that. So like,
we'll so see. I mean, but I can't see them doing that. And plus, I don't think that she's.
I know you're not on the same boat.
His daughter. So, but we will find out. We will find out in 2017. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic here. And the next topic up is we have a crap load of movies coming out between Star Wars and Deadpool. At the big blockbuster-ish kind of weekend that he made fun of me about with Zoolander, because it's not a blockbuster movie, but it could do blockbuster-type numbers. It could make like $300-400 million. I mean, it's one of those pop culture kind of comedies that are cult a little bit too. So we have all these movies coming out. We have 13 Hours, Ride Along 2, Dirty Grandpa, 50 Shades of Black. I can't fucking stand that movie. Finest Hours with Chris Pine. Jane Got a Gun. That's with Natalie Portman, which I think is going to be a pretty good movie. Kung Fu Panda 3. Yeah. I didn't even watch 2. I've only seen part of 1.
I've seen the first, part of the first one.
Hail Caesar, which is is that the Coen brothers that did that? It's one of I think it might be the Coen brothers. I can't really see on that. But
you need a bigger TV, Casey.
Yeah. Or I could just have blown it up bigger. Right. And then we have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which is a movie that Chad really wanted to go see. I actually had a screener for it like a week or two ago, and wasn't able to go. Because I've just been so busy with the holidays and Star Wars coming out and just other screeners that I've been doing, that it's just been a little chaotic. But I do want to actually see that movie. What are some of the movies that are here that you're most looking forward to? Is there anything here that you are most looking forward to? And is there what's like the one that you're least looking forward to?
What's his name? I can't remember what his name is.
With what movie?
13 Hours.
Michael Bay's film?
It's Michael Bay's film. Yeah. I know how you feel about him, and I'm kind of like in the same boat with that. Yeah. But for me to see like some of the trailers and stuff that I've watched so far, and it has John from The Office. I hate mispronouncing last names and stuff, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Krasinski?
Yeah. There you go. Krasinski, yeah. Seeing him play something serious, like that to me is going to be like an interesting role to see if that unfolds. I won't go to the theater to see it, but seeing it as it's unfolded so far with him playing a serious role, I'm interested to see how he does that, because with me, like a lot of guys get typecast, or like they that you only expect them to play certain kinds of roles, but when they're able to step out into something different than what they've done before, because he's Jim from The Office, he's ingrained, like that's ingrained in like a lot of people's brains, you know what I mean? So like for him to step out and take like a serious role, like to see that, sometimes it's good, or sometimes it's like Adam Sandler and Punch Drunk Love, and it's like really bad.
Yeah. Well, what are you, a lot of people do like Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Did you see the movie Aloha?
No.
It's not a very. It's one of those kind of like I think I gave it like a 5.5 or a 5 out of 10. It's nothing great, but it was mindless, kind of romantic comedy, kind of little. It's got a little bit more depth than a romantic comedy, but he's in that movie. He's in the movie, and he plays a role where he barely talks at all, like barely talk, and he's actually pretty darn funny in that movie. Yeah. In the way that he did it, with like being very serious, it was nice to see him do that. I mean, but I do. I'm with everybody else. I didn't watch all The Office.
Yeah.
I've seen The Office here and there.
Yeah.
I might have watched like the first season or two, but then I kind of fell off.
Yeah,
and
I watched it off and on.
I wasn't a diehard,
yeah.
Office fan, but I think that's what a lot of people. It's going to be tough for them to kind of go through and kind of wipe that out of. But if you're going to do it with an ultra serious, ultra dark role that will kind of get people to forget about it.
It's a time period piece too, because they're talking about the Benghazi and all that stuff.
I'm looking forward to that movie. I think it's going to be a pretty good movie.
I like war movies.
I say that a lot about Michael Bay's films. Like I can't wait to see this, and then I'm kind of let down. But I was let down with Pain and Gain. I was let down with Transformers 4. I was let garbage. He was a producer, but you could see his thumbprint all over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. That wasn't. You know that you liked it a little bit. I didn't.
I liked it more than you guys. I know that you and
but it's not like a freaking.
It's
awesome
not all time
film,
favorite. No, definitely not.
So I'm just hoping that it's good and it actually has the right tone, and they don't try and throw some dark, like some secret, some humor in there for no reason. Like there's no reason to have any in there. But like Dirty Grandpa. Robert De Niro and Zac Efron. I cannot wait to see that.
That
movie.
looks good.
Ride Along 2. I didn't really care for Ride Along. It was kind of like it was one of those movies that I laughed once really hard. Yeah. But I saw this
shotgun into the thing.
And that's
you watch a trailer. And
and you get all the humor pretty much. And then this one seems like it has more of that stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking that I might like this more. But I'm not going to rush out to the theater to see this. There's other movies that I would rather see. 50 Shades of Black. I don't care about this whatsoever. Yeah. I've been on record as saying it is a spoof of a spoof almost, and I don't want to see that. It doesn't look funny at all.
What's the second tier of spoof for that?
Shitty movie, I guess, because that's what this looks like it's gonna be. I've watched all the trailers so far. I watched the Red Band trailer. They look horrible. I don't laugh at all. I feel bad for the people that are involved because
he probably wrote it and because that's what he does. Marlon Wayans will take that Scream or whatever scary movie and all the other things. You know what I mean? Take it and spoof
he was
it.
Okay, I guess, in the G.I. Joe movie that he was in.
Yeah.
Was that G.I. Joe the first one? Yeah. And after that, just I was done. But the last good comedic role that I liked him in was probably Don't Be a Menace. And that's that's like the character he plays all the time now. He just plays this goofy, weird guy. Yeah. And great. I'm glad he's making money and doing well for himself. I didn't like that movie. I didn't think it was funny. So it was one of those that just didn't hit with me at all. I mean, I kind of watched it and laughed at them trying to do this more than anything else. But Finest Hours looks like it's going to be a good movie based on another true story with the Coast Guard and, trying to save some lives. And it's impressive. I don't know the actual story. Yeah. I don't read.
It's gonna be another flop like that.
It could be
that Kevin Costner movie about Ashton Kutcher or whatever.
I actually liked that movie. Yeah, I actually liked that movie a lot. I wish I could remember the name of it right now.
I think I turned it off.
Yeah, I liked it. I actually almost cried during that movie. Yeah, I know, that's sad. But yeah, Jane Got a Gun. I've already said that. Natalie Portman, and it's got Joel Edgerton. I think he's in there as well, and got some good names. And I'm looking forward to this because I like her. I think she's a very talented actress. Kung Fu Panda 3. Like I said before, I'm not going to be out to see this unless my son really wants me to go. Hail Caesar.
George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney.
Scarlett Joe.
It's got an all-star
Channing
cast.
Tatum, Ray Fiennes, Jonah Hill.
Channing Tatum seems like he's going to be pretty funny in it. Yeah. But overall, the movie itself, it does not reach out to me.
He-Man's in this movie. Dolph Lundgren's in that. I might have to give it a whirl.
So
Frances McDormand. There's a shit ton of people in there.
It's an all-star cast.
Yeah, but I'm still not going to see it.
Yeah, and I don't.
It's a Coen Brothers movie then.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not a Coen Brothers fan. I do like some of their movies, but there's nothing that really reaches out to me on this. Yeah. That makes me want to go see it.
Kind of reminds me of the Big Shorty, kind of a little bit. You know what I mean? You remember that, Big Shorty?
The Big Shorty.
Big Shorty, is that what it is?
Get Shorty?
Get Shorty. Yeah, there we go. Where it's like that,
I think Get Shorty's gonna be a lot better than this. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe if I get another trailer. Yeah. The trailer that I saw, I wasn't overall impressed with. I was kind of annoyed with George Clooney's character. But overall, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I actually am looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be one of those popcorn movies that I just want to, eat popcorn like crazy and some Starburst minis. I'm not going to do that whole thing again, but Starburst minis and like fruit snacks and all that kind of stuff, and just enjoy the fun that's happening on the screen, because it seems like it's going to be a blast. A lot of people, I think that you're one of them that doesn't really agree with me. I know Brian was so out on this movie.
I'm with him. I'm out.
Yeah.
No thanks.
All right, so we will move on to the next segment, and the next segment is
In or Out of the Movie Trailer Park.
And this is where we talk about trailers that have come out in the last several days, and we basically tell you if we are in or out based on this trailer. And this is a light trailer week, considering the last several weeks where we have gotten
like
inundated. It's like one after another after another after another. I mean, there's one we had like 7 or 8 trailers. I mean, it's just like crazy. But this week we had a lot less. And the first one up,
I think they're good though.
The trailers were good.
Yeah.
Everybody Wants Some. It's directed by Richard Linklater. A group of college baseball players navigate their way through the freedoms and responsibilities of unsupervised adulthood. Basic synopsis, nothing crazy in depth right there. But the trailer itself, I actually enjoyed. I caught myself watching it.
Yeah.
And then as the time was going on, because I started off and I was kind of like, oh man, this looks terrible. All right, that's not. This is all right. Now I'm kind of, and then by the end, I was like, I'm hooked.
Yeah,
I want to go see this movie, and that's what trailers are supposed to do.
Right.
They are supposed to hook, line, and sinker. Get you into the theater based on what you have seen in the trailer. And I am in based on this trailer because I just loved the way that it flowed, and it did remind me of that kind of dazed and confused vibe that that he did. And he said that this is the Dazed and Confused of the 80s. And like as soon as he said that, I was like,
as a Rolling Stone critic or whatever.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and be hooked here.
Yeah.
So and then by the end I was totally sold. What about you?
As soon as I saw that Days of Confused of the 80s, I was like, that's exactly how I would have described it. Because like you can feel the days and because like I like Dazed and Confused. I thought it was a really good movie.
That was a very good movie.
That you can see it. It's like it's all in there. So
there's a lot of
because I was looking at the cast. I'm like, is it a sequel? Like, because it just feels like
it does.
like it's a sequel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the I don't know, I just thought it was great. Like the cast is like so unique and like so different. I didn't really recognize too many people in there.
I think that's what Dazed and Confused did. I mean, it made. Several of those characters are pretty big actors, especially Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. I mean, he's huge.
Ben Affleck was in there.
Yeah,
chubby.
Yeah, the synopsis that they gave us.
Yeah,
the college baseball players navigate their freedoms and responsibilities through unsupervised adulthood. Yeah. Like that is what this movie is about. The synopsis is on point, even though it's short. Yeah. And I just watching it play out, and you can see. It's just like what everybody experiences through college. So I think it's going to be very relatable because of that.
Right.
So it should be fun. No matter, you don't have to be involved in sports or anything. Just going to college and being on your own,
unsupervised, shenanigans.
People
and then you
do
have,
stupid shit.
Yeah, and then like when you get a group of guys together, they do stupid stuff and like they say dumb things or like insult themselves, and then you're like, did you just really say that? Yeah, you just did that. And then everyone makes fun of you, for
And there's always you have the friends that get picked on a lot and like almost welcome
in a group of friends, you always have that guy that like is just the butt of like every joke.
And they just kind of welcome it and like go on. It's one of those. And I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this movie play out. All right, the next trailer up, A Perfect Day, and it's starring a couple of studs.
Yeah.
We have Tim Robbins and Benicio del Toro. It's a group of aid workers that work to resolve a crisis in an armed conflict zone. Now, I think the synopsis did a better job of selling me on what the story is than the trailer.
Right.
The trailer seems like more like Tim Robbins and Benicio del Toro. Like Benicio del Toro is kind of one of those, I'm going to do my job and do whatever it takes to get it done. Yeah. Tim Robbins seems more like kind of like a badass and like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Yeah. Like, and I'm just going to go about it and do it my way. I'm kind of macho. And that's kind of what I got from the trailer. I didn't really get what they were exactly trying to do and how they were going to go about it. But reading the synopsis, it helped me a little bit. And I would say that as of right now, A Perfect Day, I would probably pass on. Even though I do like the main player. Like, I like Tim Robbins. I think he's a very talented actor.
Yeah.
I know some people don't really care for him. I like him in this. I like him in this trailer too. I think he's kind of his bravado kind of attitude is something that I think he's gonna backfire in him at some point in this movie. But Benicio del Toro, I mean, a lot of people love him. I know that you love him.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of that bow to everything Benicio del Toro, but I do recognize.
He's done some bad stuff.
I do recognize that he's a talented actor.
I think he's very talented.
So I mean, I would say as of right now, I'm kind of out on this movie just based on the synopsis and the trailer. It doesn't have anything that really makes me want to run out to the theater to go see it. But the trailer itself kind of sold me on the movie, but then I read the synopsis and it didn't really pair up, so I don't know how it's going to fit together. So that's why I'm kind of, I would say I'm a little out on the movie as of right now. What about you?
I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like I like Benicio del Toro. I like a lot of the stuff that he's done. But for me, it's like the exact opposite from Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins is the one that pulled me out of the movie completely.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a huge Tim Robbins fan. I haven't seen that I can recall off the top of my head that I'm like, yes, like I like, I like his work or that I like that movie that he's been in. It's just not there for me. And like the comedy that he does, it just feels kind of forced and awkward, and it's not. I don't know. It just misses the mark for me. I like Benicio del Toro when he's serious. When he's been kind of in like funnier-ish roles. You know what I mean? But the Tim Robbins character in the trailer so far, from what I've seen, that he pulls me out. And Benicio, I like his stuff, so I'll be like kind of torn. Like I'm on the fence about it.
Do you like Shawshank Redemption?
I can't say with complete certainty that I've seen the whole thing.
What?
I know, it's a big deal. Yeah. I have seen it, but it was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
And I don't like it's not something that's like burned into my brain.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you got to watch that movie. That's an amazing film. Yeah. I mean, I like him in Bull Durham. I like him in a lot of stuff. I think he's a good actor.
Bull Durham was a good movie.
Nothing to Lose with him and Martin Lawrence. Nope. I like him in that. I like just
those
their chemistry.
Cheesy comedy movies, man. Like I can't do with it.
I liked it. I like it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, we will go on to the next one. It seems like we're both kind of out so far on this trailer. Yeah. The next one up is Merc with the Mouth.
Yeah, buddy.
Deadpool. Obviously, this is starring Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, really?
It's got a lot of other mutant type players in there. There's Andre Tricato, I guess his name is. They actually might have changed the voice actor that is playing this. I think because he was supposed to originally do the lines. Yeah. I think they might have gotten somebody else in, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I haven't really done all my research on that yet. He's going to be Colossus. Ed Skrein is Ajax. Gina Carano is Angel Dust. Morena Baccarin is Copycat. She's also on a show that we watch, Gotham.
Yeah.
And T.J. Miller as Weasel. This is the synopsis. A former Special Forces operative turned mercenary is subjected to a rogue experiment that leaves him with accelerated healing powers and adopts the alter ego Deadpool.
Yeah, buddy.
I can't wait to see this movie.
I'm so pumped.
I haven't seen one thing that they have put out, and they have put out a lot for this movie. Yeah. That I have every single time I see something, I am more in than I was before. Yep. And usually when they start bombarding you with all this stuff, I kind of you get upset. I'm like, but they haven't done anything to spoil the movie because they just keep doing all these random photos and like I have a feeling like they were like, all right, yeah, Ryan, we'll let you take home the Deadpool uniform, but we're gonna call you up. You're gonna have to put that bad boy on, and whatever we want, you're gonna take photos. You have to do all this kind of stuff. And he's probably like, sure, sounds good to me.
Yeah, he wants this movie. He wants this movie just as bad as
he
like
probably
we
has
do,
points on the movie where he can make more money if it makes a lot of money. I mean, everything that I've seen from this movie is just awesome and hilarious, and I can't wait to see an R-rated X-Men type movie played out like this. It just looks so good. And anything below like an 8 out of 10 for me is going to be a letdown. Yeah. But I have a feeling like this is going to be that movie that Ant-Man really wishes it could have been. Granted, there's no real need to go on that R-rated comedy, but like the R-rated movie. But this, I think, is going to be more funny. I think the action's going to be better. I think it's just everything in general. The villain will probably be better. Like, I think because Ajax is probably going to be the main guy that he goes up against. That's like one of the guys that's kind of like, he's supposed to be Deadpool's superior as far as because he doesn't feel any pain and all that kind of stuff. So I am really looking forward to this. I'm looking to see the stunts and all that kind of stuff that they do. I'm really, I just can't say enough good things about this, and I'm so in based off that Red Band trailer because it was hilarious. It was awesome. Them hitting the cab, rolling up and down the window and stuff like that. Just even that was funny. It's just everything he does is just awesome. I love Ryan Reynolds too. So
now
what about you?
Now that Star Wars is over,
yeah,
I can say I'll repeat what I said for that. I'm so fucking pumped to see this movie.
Yeah. And it's coming out in February, which is tough. You don't get that very often in February.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big weekend. I mean, you have this. You don't really like Zoolander, right?
Nah, I mean, I watched it. I've seen it. I'm not like, I'm not one of the cult guys that like has seen it like several times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I do enjoy the characters. I like, I love Will Ferrell. So like, yeah. Him being Mugatu and stuff like that is good. But
it's
like,
awesome.
The cast that they're putting together with this, I think it is really good. I like Ed Skrein.
I like TJ Miller.
He's
so funny.
He's so funny. The extra thing that they did in the Red Band trailer and this one that they didn't before, it's like those two just go back and forth and just rip each other like apart. It's so funny.
And they have a good relationship, which like
you can tell.
And you like Deadpool doesn't get pissed off at him. He just kind of retorts and kind of accepts it. He's almost like he's almost the kind of the guy in the group that gets made fun of. And he's just kind of like,
it's like you look like the face of, or you look like the
inside of somebody else. Like somebody else's asshole. I'm like,
I was like, oh man, it's so good. You look like a moldy avocado fucked another avocado or something like that.
Yeah, he does so many good things.
It's so good. Like the ad-libbing and riffing that like they were talking about that they were doing. It's like, it's so gold. And I like Ed Skrein. Have you ever seen you haven't. I knew you haven't, and that's why I kind of set you up for that.
What's that?
Ajax, the guy that's playing Ajax. Yeah. Any other movie that he's been in or any other role?
Yeah, I saw the Transporter Refueled.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah, and I didn't mind him in it.
And how he was able to be in that movie is because he left taping Game of Thrones, which you have not seen.
Hey, I just told you. I sent him a text. I was very happy. Or no, it was Facebook. I tagged you that my good buddy, the guy that I took to go see, he has all the DVDs. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually get the chance to watch them.
Started.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up until like I think like the third season or whatever, and he's in it for like a little while. Yeah. But then he got called to do the Transporter, and he left the show, and they end up recasting to this other guy. I hate when they do that because
it does pull you out for a little bit.
Like he did really well, and he like fit the part really well. The guy that they have as his character now, I don't really
buy it.
I'm not digging it, but like I mean he's doing okay, but like. That Ed really
it sucks because then you have to like act like somebody else was acting, and that's kind of tough. Like, they did something similar. It's not anywhere near the cinema quality that Game of Thrones is, but Last Man Standing, which is the show with Tim Allen, they did that where they had one of his daughters in the whole first season, and then they decided to pick it up and go for more seasons, and they recasted one of the daughters because the daughter didn't want to be in it for some reason. I don't know if she had something else that she was going to be doing or if she was going to go to college or something like that, but they decided to recast her, and I just in the last season, this has been going on for like 6 seasons, just in this last season, I finally started like season and a half. I've started to finally be okay with her as the daughter.
Like, who are you?
Yeah, because I really enjoyed the other daughter. That's the problem, is I really thought the chemistry was really good, and so it's one of those that's kind of, it takes you out of it. It definitely does, but I mean Ed Skrein, as far as Transported Refueled, I hated that movie. It was a terrible movie. Yeah. I didn't mind him in it, but I'm hoping that because this movie will have a bigger budget, that the fight choreography will be better, because I do feel like he does have the potential to be very good in like scenes like this.
You see him
in the Transporter Refueled, it wasn't very good.
You see him in Game of Thrones, he does very well with the battle scene. Like he does a little some sword play and like some stuff like that.
Like, so that'll be good, because in transporter fuel. I think whoever they had to do the fight choreography and the director, the way that they filmed it, it just didn't look that great in certain spots, which was unfortunate because that is one of those movies that's what you're going to see is the fight choreography. Yeah. There's not going to be much depth to the movie. There's going to be, usually pretty players in the key roles that, like you have the females that are going to be attractive, the males that are going to be, something that'll make women kind of get to come out to see the movie. And then you're going to have great fight scenes and great car scenes. And I thought that it just fell flat on some of them. So it was unfortunate for them that I did not care for that movie at all. I rented that and I'm like, I'm never going to watch it. I'm not going to subject my eyes to that ever again. So I'm hoping that we get, a better, like I said, Ed Skrein in that, I think. Yeah. It showed me that he has the potential to do something good.
And so far what I've seen from this looks
really good. Yeah. They don't really show a lot of their fight, which I think is going to be a pretty badass fight. Yeah. So I'm hoping that the sword play and everything that they do and the fight that they have is going to be amazing. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. So that's it for In and Out of the Movie Trailer Park. We were going to move on to the next little topic here. And that's going to be something that we don't do very often, but we had something that dropped this morning, and that thing that dropped this morning will come right after this.
But first, let me take a selfie.
Yes, but first let me take a selfie, and that is where we just, something like a picture drops or a poster or something along those lines, like a frame, like a picture from behind the scenes or whatever, something picture related. And this is like one of those hot new trends. It's not even really a trend anymore because it's been done so much. It's just something that is done. Yeah. And it's where they take pictures on set and all that kind of stuff, and then they post it on the internet and show it. But this time it is actually an official picture, and we get to see for the first time Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. What are your thoughts on this picture and the way that he looks, Mr. Darth Vader?
I like it. I think he looks very true to the comics, which I know a lot of people were concerned, what they were going to do, how true to this comic they were going to be. Were they going to play it down and make him more realistic or, like more, human or not human, but the fact that he looks very true to the comic, that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of good stuff that is happening with this picture. I love the little, kind of mystical emblem that he's got out there with his hand. I think he looks like Stephen Strange to a T. And I think that as far as this mystical world that we are going to, I am really looking forward to this movie because of that. I can't wait to see the mystics and, the wizard play, all of that goes around with Doctor Strange. I'm looking forward to it. But if you really look close, you have more stuff. Game of Thrones in there. Know. First looks, Game of Thrones, Outlander, Ghostbusters, Batman vs. Superman, Girl on a Train, and Ryan Reynolds pecs and abs. Oh. Yay. I mean, this, I cannot wait. Yeah. I mean, this has the potential to be huge, especially with like some CG work and all that kind of stuff play. It could look really, really cool. I don't know where they're going to kind of dive into it, if they're going to have like some early stuff which happened to him and how he got to where he is. Yeah. Like some, this is what happened in the past scenes. Right. Because he's a doctor and he lost the use of his hands due to a tragic accident. And then he became he went to like go study with monks and all that kind of stuff. Not study, but, kind of just, go to that rat world.
Find his place.
And he ended up becoming, who he is, which is Doctor Strange. Yeah. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for this. And Benedict Cumberbatch is a fucking talent.
He is. I'm not super knowledgeable about his story and stuff where it comes from in the comics. I didn't really follow his story too well. Right. So like I'm interested to see where it goes because I know he's a talented actor. I know, things like, that he can handle it. So that.
Hold on. I just had to run off real quick. My son is going to my in-laws today, so then he's gonna go have a little sleepover, and he's really pumped about it. So I had to go and take care of that real quick. And other than that, the only thing that we have left to talk about is this little segment that our buddies here were able to record, Brandon and Brian.
It's time for Random Rants and Rave Reviews.
Yeah, I don't have the Batman picture loaded up yet, so hopefully, or whatever that is, the Fat Man. I don't know what the heck it is. It
works.
Blob, man. It's very random, and it is what it is. So, do you have anything that you want to kind of talk about for random rants and rave reviews? Is there anything in particular?
Just check out that George Lucas thing we talked about.
Oh my God, that was so good. Yeah. It totally epitome of thug life in Hollywood.
We'll add the link maybe to it, or
I'll put the link in for in the description. I'll put it in there at some point. Just send it to me so that I can find it.
I'll send it to you. It's just fun to watch him just sit. These people are like, it's no like important interview that he's really doing, but
no,
I didn't recognize any of the people that were actually interviewing him, and he was being nice and or whatever, and just like talking about what he's doing,
what he's working on, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was pretty freaking cool that he was like, I make movies now, and he's like, oh, not for you guys, like not for anybody else. This is just for me and my friends. Like, can you imagine the quality of movies that they like? These are gonna be like family movies. Yeah, he's like making these like production, big, huge budget things that I couldn't imagine. Can you imagine having that?
Upper echelon.
I mean, he is a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it's gotta be so cool. Some secret movie society that like only like the super
A-listers like
get in.
Quentin Tarantino,
Spielberg
are all part of.
Yeah. This movie only airs once. It cost me $30 million to make.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna see this once, and then after we watch it, it's gonna self-destruct. Never to be seen again.
Can you imagine that? Yeah. Like just pissing away $30 million like that just for, oh my Lord,
for artistic things that he wants to do.
And if it sucks,
a hobby.
Now you know why it's only gonna be viewed once. Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff that was out there too, like some things that I saw on like Newsarama and Collider and all that kind of stuff. That popped up. I mean, they were talking about how Avengers, the Infinity War, both Part 1 and 2, are going to be filmed in complete IMAX, like the whole thing in IMAX.
Wow.
Which is impressive because from what I remember, you can't do audio with the IMAX camera.
Right.
So you have to dub it in afterwards. That could be difficult to do. So I am looking forward to see it play out, because to see that huge screen being used to its max is very cool.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm a little nervous about it because it's never been done before, I don't think, as far as like a legit cinematic movie that's in the theaters. They do it for
documentaries,
those documentaries and like where you're watching fish and stuff.
Penguins.
Like you get that, but there's going to be a lot of action, which is going to be cool.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of dialogue too.
Right.
And how are they going to play that out? I mean, I'm sure they can do it. I'm sure they'll figure out a way that it'll be seamless, but I don't know. I'm just a little nervous about the whole trying it for the first time on this huge ass movie that's probably going to cost $350 million to make.
Yeah.
Just the first one, like let alone the second. But it should be interesting to watch. I don't know.
One of the other things I was like watching I saw that was on Twitter, and I had seen it before, but now that the movie's like out and Daisy really plays such a big part of that movie going forward, that hashtag where's Ray, like she's left out of all the toys. Like the toy line doesn't have her or Captain Phasma in it. It has like a stormtrooper and a TIE fighter pilot mixed with like Finn, Chewie, Kylo Ren, and then there's like a first order trooper and a TIE fighter pilot as the 5-pack of like toys. Or it has Poe, I think. It has Poe, Kylo Ren, Chewie, and there's no Daisy really. I mean, that's not the first time that Marvel's left.
Oh, they do that quite often. Or Disney,
It's their third real big, massive blockbuster release with solid female leads that have no action figures. No Scarlet. Scarlet did have Black Widow. I meant Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. No Black Widow. With Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's no Gamora, and now this one there's no Rey. So it's just like, get your shit together. Like,
seriously. People want those toys.
Yeah, and like collectors.
Even guys.
Yeah, guys. Like if you want to break it down, the gender equality issue and all that stuff, like it's a serious issue to talk about. The fact that like parents are raising boys to be gender neutral. Like they can play with My Little Ponies like huge, and like
they have all the older people that are bronies.
Well, that too. That's something different. That's something a little different. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not afraid to play with, like, you know, like, quote unquote, a girl's toy from, like, when we were growing up,
Yeah.
or things like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or the fact that,
like a Barbie or something.
yeah,
like
you know
that.
what I mean? Like a doll or whatever. Like, who cares? Like, my daughter, like, she loves princessy, like, stuff, but she likes playing with Star Wars. She loves Star Wars and Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. Like, growing up, it's
good to have a nice
like
balance.
a balance, like a balanced kid. So, like, for yes, collectors and nerds want to have complete sets of this and all that, and I like, you know, whatever, that's fine. But like, strong female role models and stuff like that was another thing that we were like, we were getting on a thing about a chat about, like, you know, role models are, you know, all over the place. And role models are in public figures and things like that. Movie stars, you know, characters, things like that.
Yeah, it was. We had this little battle on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
It wasn't a battle. It was a
more
disagreement.
of just a talk.
Yeah.
About. One of our co-hosts here,
Yeah.
Chad, he was saying how, like, famous people should
Right.
not be role models because your parents should be your role models, and your family should, like, and that's it. Like, that's all that should be role models. And he posts, like, quotes by Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
And no, I wouldn't want my kid to grow up being like Charles Barkley.
No.
Because he's
Terrible.
a loudmouth and kind of. I do find him entertaining.
Yeah.
I do like his personality, but
Yeah.
I don't want my children to grow up like that.
Right.
Because you're bound to get punched in the mouth at some point in time
Yeah.
if you have a mouth like that. Luckily for him, he's 6'5", 6'6", and 300 pounds, so people aren't going to really mess with him too much.
But you look at somebody like Odell Beckham Jr., who, like, I know a lot of kids look up to within like the past couple of weeks. He's suspended for a game. He was like the whole crap that was going on with the Carolina Panthers game and all that stuff. Like, a lot of people look up to him.
Yeah.
And like, yes, you know, they don't set out to be role models. Like, I'm gonna grow up to be your role model.
Right.
Like, it's not you're doing that, but you're in the public eye. You're a public figure. Like, kids look up to you. Athletes. If you don't, some people look up to athletes.
I still, to this day, I love Derek Jeter, and I think that he is a great role model. I think the way that he's carried himself in the public eye and not caused much controversy. People stir up a lot of shit in the background about him because they're envious.
Yeah.
But I think that he is a legit role model, and that's someone that I would more want my son to look after for a sports role model. Because I think you have sports role models. I think you have characters that in all walks of
different
life.
Different things. So you can look
that
up, like,
you look up to them,
traits,
and that's something that you want to grow up
Right.
as. And I think it's even better when you can have a role model like a Derek Jeter, who
Yeah.
not only performs at the highest level,
Right.
and on top of that also shows that he is articulate
Right.
and shows that he can go through life and not cause a lot of drama around his life, because he just holds himself to a higher, I don't know, expectation of himself, and he
Standards or
understands
whatever,
that he's a role model and doesn't want to. Then you have people like A-Rod, who's like the complete opposite. He's like just a shady character, and you never know how much you can actually trust him. And that's why I personally am trying to show my son, like, I don't want to watch this guy play. So whenever he comes on the screen, I turn it to a different channel. And that's how I show that I am not, I don't want him to end up being like that.
Right.
I would rather him be someone along the lines of like a Jeter. Jeter doesn't play anymore.
Right.
That's too bad. Mariano Rivera is another one. You might even have someone like Aaron Rodgers, who seems like he's a good, carefree kind of guy.
Yeah.
And
he takes his game seriously. He's very dedicated to what he does. You know, he stands up for what he believes in.
Right.
When he was doing like a post-game conference about, like, he was disappointed at the fans for they're booing, or they said something inappropriate or whatever during like a moment of silence or something like that. So like, he made sure that, like, he came out to say that. You know what I mean? It's like it's like you can take athletes as role models for what they do, you know, to their craft, you know, their dedication. Like, you know, it's hard work, you know, it takes sacrifice, you know, it's this and that, it's providing for their families, it's this and that. It's not just like, you know, they're showboating.
It's not
and like,
it's not as
that
cut
kind of
and
thing.
dry
Right.
as yes and no. They should or should not be role models.
Right.
I think that when you're famous, you are signing up. That's part of you're signing up to be somewhat of a role model. You can choose to be a good or bad role model.
If you're a public figure, celebrity, otherwise, you take those millions of dollars for a game that you play or acting a part that you do. You become part of celebrity. You become part of the public eye. There are people that, like, maintain a public persona that, like, don't have issues with the paparazzi or whatever. There's all these people that you know can.
Russell Crowe has a big problem with the paparazzi. Like, he has shown time and time again that he is not a very good person, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't know how he is off camera when he's being filmed for interviews and stuff like that, but I know that a lot of people say that he's kind of rough around the edges, to put it nicely, I guess. But then you have people like a couple of my favorite actors, Mel Gibson. I love Mel Gibson as an actor. Right. Would I show, like, as far as a role model goes, would I want to emulate what he does? Maybe as an actor, but not as a human being. Not as a person, right. I can understand those things. My kid can't. Right. So therefore, I'm not going to put Mel Gibson in his eye.
Exactly. You can be the buffer between your son and that, too.
And like Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio is another one who lives a kind of loosey-goosey life off of the camera. Yeah. Kind of has been talked about as being quite a bit of a playboy and, being with a lot of different women and all that kind of stuff. Do I want my son to grow up something like that? No. But do I want him to put as much hard work, time, and effort as he does as Leonardo DiCaprio's in his craft?
And something passionate.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's one of those things that I'm not going to be showing my son any Leonardo DiCaprio movies until he kind of has the wherewithal to kind of understand that. And, I can kind of talk to him about that. Like, this is what you do when you work like this. Yeah. Obviously Leo plays hard and works hard, but I don't really think that you can play hard without getting kind of negative in the news. I think there's other ways to go about that, but he is what he is. But I love both of those guys as actors. I love Russell Crowe as an actor. Yeah. But they all have flaws, and I can understand that because I'm just older and I can. Right.
Well, you can kind of differentiate between the two. You know what I mean? Like
when I was a teenager, I couldn't really, I didn't think about all that kind of stuff. I just watched them on the screen. Was like, oh man, that was amazing.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. He was a fucking phenomenal talent.
Phenomenal athlete.
A lot of gambling issues.
Off the screen too. Like he's not like I've heard from people that have worked directly with him or for him that he's not the nicest person to like deal with. And that like not in the public eye. You know what I mean? So it's like those things. Like you can have parts or character traits of people that you would want your son or whatever to look up to. Yeah. It's just that's who you are. You're in the public eye. You're gonna be a role model of some sort.
Right. True that. Yeah. True that. All right. Well, we are going to be ending today. You can always find us on youtube.com/themoviehousemaniacs. You can see that right down there below. You can also find us on facebook.com/the CineBros. That is also up there. And where can people find you on the interwebs again?
All at DJ Darth Vader.
DJ
Facebook,
Darth Vader.
Instagram, Twitter, all that.
And you can find me at the CineBros pretty much everywhere. I'm trying to get to the point where I can separate from the CineBros on Facebook. I want to actually have my own account and then have the CineBros just be dedicated to the CineBros posts and all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, you can find me everywhere at the CineBros. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything like that. You can also obviously find me on Facebook by my name. Other people that have watched the show and have followed on the CineBros on Facebook, they have done that. And I have, several friends that I would have never had otherwise, that are huge movie lovers. Some that one actually doesn't even follow us anymore because he is more onto the independent side of things, and he is working on his own stuff. And we do talk about it, but we are so heavy into like the pop culture kind of side of it, with and Chad loves independent movies and he talks about it. But I just think that as far as our page, we kind of try and post things, especially since we don't have a website yet, that when we post stuff independence, like it not only does it take away from how many people we reach, but when you keep doing us to lower and lower reach, it takes forever to build back up that realm on Facebook pages. I don't know why it's like that, but it is.
They want you paying for advertising.
It was funny because you posted something. It was the Red Band trailer for Deadpool. Yeah. I posted it like 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you. Yeah. But I used the actual link for the trailer instead of posting it from a different website. Yeah. And mine got like 30 views. Yeah. And yours got like 500 or 800 or something like that because it was linked to an actual website. Now, if I ever have the financial fortitude, if we start making some money off these, I have the domain already locked up. Yeah. But I will actually put some money and I'll get a website out there if we can start bringing some money in so I can help it grow a little more. And that will help if we have an actual blog website that I can link to it. It'll help actually create some traffic because then they'll click on it and they'll go right to the CineBros page instead of instead of just some random, Newsarama or Collider or comic book movie or, all these Cinema Blend, all these other kind of sites that do it. And they all do pretty well. Yeah. Some of them are a little not as good as the others. I mean, we're a part of Movie Pilot. We don't really do a lot of articles. We do more videos on there. But, as far as everything else goes, I mean, I would like to be able to create a website. For one, I don't really have the knowledge to be able to do it. Yeah. And then, being able to financially kind of pay somebody to create a kind of a blogish kind of website. It's going to cost some money, and I am, obviously we're even investing in this.
We're getting there.
We're getting there slowly but surely. It's been almost a full year. I think I can't remember when we started. It might have been in February. Maybe. As far as this goes, the audio stuff and video, I don't know. I can't remember, but 29 episodes in, 30 is going to be the next one. We're debuting our first trailer. Yeah. I'm excited about it. My brother has been working very hard on this. We hope that you guys all like it. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys at the movies soon. Probably still watching Star Wars because that's just it's a phenomenal movie, and you guys should all go see that
multiple times.
And then you can watch the spoiler thing that we the spoiler kind of thing that we talked about. Yeah. About Rey and Ren, the double R's. So do you have anything you want to say? Any words on the way out?
I won. Yeah. I did that. I won the Star Wars the estimates.
Do you know and who you donate to?
I think we're gonna do something officially, like when it comes down. Chad wants to kind of co-donate to the same organization I am. Way back in the day, when that ice bucket challenge came out, I was like so anti against it.
I remember
because it wasn't really doing anything. So I said, why don't you donate money to one of the organizations that I like to give either my time to or whatever. So my money that we won the bet was like a $20 bet. Like we all
$20 entry fee.
Yeah, we all bought in to like guess the estimates of how big the Star Wars movie was going to do, and I was the closest.
What was your bet? What did you guess?
I had 234.44,
and it was 247.
Yeah, it was
7.
I was close, and Brian was second. So I'm gonna donate my.
Yeah, you guys were within a couple $1 million of each other because he was at like 255 or no, he was at 275 or something like that. Yeah, it was like
277.
So he was like 20 million off, and you were like
I was only like 14 or 12.
So it was close. It was pretty close.
I'm gonna donate my money to the Wounded Warrior Project.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think
excellent. That's a great. All these fundraisers are, great to donate to. Yeah. So we will. I can't wait to see that play out. Maybe I'll take a little video of you typing it in.
Yeah,
or however you do it.
Yeah, Chad's got the money. I think he's gonna kind of take care of all that stuff. All right. But when we get the thing back, or because if you donate it in the memory of someone or in honor of someone, I think they'll probably send you a little something. Maybe we can screenshot it or post it.
That's great.
Christmas being around. The military's been always around my family and stuff, so it's good.
The military is around everyone because they are the reason why we have the freedoms that we do. So we will we'll sign off today, and we'll just say peace out, and we'll see you guys again next week. Maybe earlier. I might be going to see a few movies this week, so we'll see.
If you watch the show on YouTube, please click that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.